This is a training video for Citizens State Bank in Anton, and we are looking at WordPress today. I've already done my login, but you'll receive a red sheet that has your username and password with this link that you see up here at the top, CSBAnton.com/WP-admin. That'll take you to the login page where you can put in your username and password. The username that is sent on that red sheet is an admin user, so you'll see the exact same thing I do here in this video. So we're logged into WordPress and we're looking at the dashboard where you can see some things running here like your exact metrics. This is essentially your Google Analytics, the visits to your site. This is a free tool that's running on there where you can view sort of limited reports. If you get into your actual Google Analytics, you can see the complete reports through your Google account. Probably the main thing that you'll be changing on this site are the internal pages of your website, all of these that are listed here. So we're going to take a look at that first. Go to this left navigation in the black and click on Pages. Here you'll see a list of all of the pages in the site currently. I'm just going to choose one of those, the contact page. We'll look at it kind of here on the front side too to see what that looks like. On the back side, it looks a little bit different, so don't be alarmed. It's all the same information. You're just seeing the back side of the site. So first what we see, I'm going to stretch this out a little bit more. There are page groups within this site. This one is 50% of the width. As you can see here, there's a 50% column and a 50% column. So the first one has the text that you see on the left-hand side, all the contact information. And then there is a form that is embedded in here, and that is this Contact Us form. And if you scroll down a little bit more, there's another page section that is 50% width, and there's two tabs right here. One says text, one says visual. I'm going to click over to visual so you don't have to look at the code. You can look at the actual text. This is the rest of the content that we're seeing on the right-hand side of the page. It's very easy to edit the text in these boxes, a little bit like Word, where you can just highlight your text. You can type in something new. You can usually you want to select paragraph style. That just means that it's the regular black, smaller text within the site. But if you were looking to do a headline, you would do headline 1 is the largest, 2, 3, and so forth. Those, for instance, 1 would be this Contact Us in the charcoal gray. 2 or 3 would be the red subheads here beneath that. So you could check the different headlines if you want to do that. For instance, this is heading 2 for lost or stolen ATM and debit and credit cards. There's also some basic tools, left align, right align. You can change the font size. If you don't see all of these tools, you might need to look here occasionally. There's a, whoops, it's not that one. There's a little box that will zip down over here on the right to be able to see everything, but you should be able to see all of these tools. Just some basic formatting going on here. So that's how you would edit the text within a site. Then when you're ready to save that, you scroll back up here to the blue update button. I'm not going to hit that now because I made some changes that shouldn't be saved. But you can hit update. It will save that live to the internet, and then you can preview those changes too, or you can just go back to your website and refresh to see your changes. The other thing you might need to know, if you scroll down here on the right, there's a featured image that you can set. That's the image that's right at the top of every page. And so each of those have a different featured image, and that gets set in this box down here to the right. In this case, I could remove the image, set a new one, and it's going to automatically open the image box, and I can go to my media library where you'll see a number of images are already in there, or you could upload your own. You just kind of want to be careful that you're not uploading huge images that are going to take a really long time to load. So we have a number of images already in there for you. That's pretty much the basics of a page as far as editing goes. You might want to add an image at some point, and in that case, if you wanted to add an image on the page somewhere, you could insert your cursor where you want it, and hit Add Media, it brings up that same media window where you can choose either to upload your own file or go to the media library and choose a file from there. It works the same for PDFs. If I wanted to add a PDF into this page, I could choose that. The only thing I would remind you is that whatever this title is over here at the right is the title that will be inserted into the page. So make sure you've got that title named correctly, because that will be the link title. You could also go back in and edit that if you like, and link it to something else, link it to a different page, to another file. It can be edited later, but just keep in mind that's what happens when you insert a PDF, is that title gets inserted automatically. There are a number of other settings within this page setup. For instance, there's backgrounds and spacing and all of that. For the most part, you won't have to change any of that. We've got that already set. The only pages that get a little more tricky are those that have tables on them, like this checking account page. And so you'll see this may look like regular text, but it's actually a table that's embedded so that it works better on mobile and other devices when it's sized down. If you need to edit the text on a table, you can go to Table Press over here on the left, and you'll see all of your tables are listed right here. We try to name those appropriately so you can find them. And then when you click on the Now account, for example, it will pull up this little table where you can change the type within that table and change it out to be whatever you need. If you need to change a minimum or a percentage or something like that. And then you hit the Save Changes button at the bottom, and it will automatically update the page. Now, one thing to note, because I am logged into this WordPress site, you're seeing some extra things up here at the top. The regular public does not see that. They also don't see these edit buttons. But because I'm logged in, I can very easily edit the page from the front side of the internet. So for instance, if I wanted to edit this regular personal checking account graph or table, I could hit edit right here, and WordPress quickly takes me to that graph so that I can make those edits and hit save down here at the bottom. I'm going to go back to the front side of the site. If you wanted to add a new page to your site, you come back over here to Pages, and there's a couple of ways to get there. You can hit Add New up here at the top, and you're going to get a blank page that needs to have a title added, and then you want to add element. Don't put your text in this box. It's a little tricky. Make sure you add element. You're going to add a page group and then a section. That gets you back to the same box that we had before. It defaults to being 100% wide, which is probably good. That's what most pages would be. And then you can start adding in your text in this box. And you can see all those tools pop up there. There are two tabs here, Visual and Text. Text is like seeing the HTML code. Visual is seeing just regular text, so you can view it a little better. So feel free to add text and additional pages. When you do that, you can then add it also to your navigation bar up here at the top. And to do that, you would go to Appearance and then to Menus. Once you go to Menus, you'll see this tool. Right now, it's on the footer menu. That's what this one down here. It's pretty boring. It's just privacy and security. But we can also change to Main Menu. Select that. And you can see all of these elements stacked in here. The ones that are bumped out all the way to the left are the main navigation items: home, personal, business, debit cards, services, and so forth. The ones that are bumped in are the drop downs within those. All of those within the drop downs. On the left, you have a list of all your pages. You can add any page to the menu. Just note that it's going to go down here to the very bottom, and you have to drag it up where you want it in your menu. Once you're done with that, you hit Save Menu, and it will be updated live on the internet. Of course, I'm not going to do that again right now either. I'm going to show you on the site is how to edit the home page. In your list of pages, you'll see there's quite a few here. There's actually 30 different pages in this site. You're only seeing one of 2 pages of pages, so there's quite a few. So you can search up here at the top for home or any other page that you're looking for. You can also alphabetize them by clicking on title. It'll put them in alpha order. But we found the home page here. We're going to click on that. It's marked as the front page of the site. And the home page has multiple elements, the slider obviously with the images, and then these 3 featured items, and then there's sections beneath that. Keep in mind that these sections are all page sections, and each one of these boxes is a page section. So there are a lot of elements on this page. It's not difficult, it's just long. So you can see here this first one is a 20%. It actually starts with the featured images or the featured text right here. We'll come back to this slider a little bit later. But this is 20%, then there's an image, then another 20%, an image, and so forth to fill in this section of the site. So if we look here, you can see there's the online banking text. You scroll down a little bit more. Always look at the visual tab. There's the icon that goes with it. There's a 3% spacer. You can ignore that. In fact, I think I'll just go ahead and, whoops, I'm going to zip that up because we don't really need to see that. Then we'll see there's the debit card text next. And then once again, an image that goes along with that. Another 3% spacer, just to keep those elements a little distance from each other so that they're not right on top of each other. Another 20% is devoted to the mobile banking text, and then another 10% on this icon. So all of those boxes run these elements right here. You could change out the icons. We put a bunch of icons in there for you, already colored and ready to go, just like lots of normal banking icons in your media library that you can choose a different one if you decide to change out any of that content. The next page group here says that it is 350 pixels wide, and you can see this is online banking, and here's the text that goes along with that. And then as we scroll down some more, there's the image that goes along with it. Again, it would be easy to change out that text, even change a link. Right now it links to online banking page, and then you could change out this text, and you can click on this little pencil right here. It will take you to the media gallery where you can replace the image with a different one within the media gallery or upload your own. So feel free to do that. Then as you scroll down some more, there's actually I believe this is another spacer, so I'm going to zip that one up. And this one is the news alerts on this side. That's the graphic that goes with it. And then the next part of that, of course, is the text. It's in white, so you kind of have to highlight it to be able to see it. And there are formats here for buttons, white text, header text, and so forth. You can use those. You actually can also just color it white if you need the text to be white, for instance, because this has a background. You're probably wondering, well, where do I set the background? Let's go up here a little bit higher. And to this page group, if we go to settings, you can see the page group background is this tan sort of leather look here. So you can change that out if you want, but most likely you're probably just going to leave it as is and change some of the text within the box. And those are all links, and you can see that the link tool is highlighted, and this link takes you to the lobby hours, updates to lobby hours page. If you wanted to change that, you could click here on the gear and choose another page from the list. You can also just paste in a URL to an outside link. We have it built to where if you were to put in an outside URL, you'd automatically get the warning message that says you're leaving the site for a third-party site. That's built in already to the site. Also, I'll just mention too, there's a tool that we've added onto this called Yoast SEO. And this tool helps you put keywords and phrases and descriptions into your site. Now, the pages aren't fully filled out because we're not always sure what all those keywords should be, but certainly you could add additional, like a key phrase. In this case, it would probably be home, because this is your home page. That key phrase is really what is the theme of this page, and so that would be that it is the home page. And the SEO title is here, and it includes the page name and the site title, so that it says Citizens State Bank. So that will all be included in there. That's just automatically putting that information into every title. And then you can change your meta description. Probably could get a more descriptive description here. It's only sort of half happy with this. If it was green, it would be fully happy, where we maybe include your city, your state, a couple of key services that would make that show up a little bit better and happier for search engines. And then if you scroll up here to the top, remember, after you make any changes, be sure to hit the update button to save it and publish it to the web. Now, the very last tool is actually the first thing on the website, and that is this slider here at the very top. That is a tool called Revolution Slider, or Slider Revolution. When I click on that, you'll see, if you scroll down a little bit, there is a homepage slider. There's also some ads and things going on up here, but go to your homepage slider. And this tool is pretty complex. I'll show you the basics of how to make a new slide or how to edit an existing slide, but there's really a lot in here. People animate with this, put video in, all kinds of complex things, but we're using it for kind of the most basic image slides and text on top. At the top, under slides, you'll see there's a list of slides already on here. If they have the little eyeball with the cross through them, that means that they are turned off currently. This message is turned off currently. I can roll down through, I can see there's a holiday message. It's also turned off, probably a 4th of July or Memorial Day. There's an Easter one. There's several that are in here already for holidays and closures and things. So the first one that's actually live is number 6, and it is this slide right here. I can pull down to the next slide, number 7, and this one actually has text on it. If I click on that text, it shows up over here on the right, and I could change out that text. There's also a gray box back behind it. And anytime you want to do something similar to this, you can actually take this slide that has text on it and duplicate it. That's kind of the easiest thing to do, to replicate the same font, the same size, the same setup. Then you just click this duplicate button, and it'll make another slide just like this. It'll put it at the end of the list, and then you can go and edit that one by clicking on it and making the edits that you need to make. Really, for text, it's just sort of like double clicking, and it's going to get you the box over to the right where you can change the text. Now, there are tons of style options and fonts and colors and transparency and drop shadows and all kinds of things that go a mile deep. But hopefully, for the most part, you'll be able to just change that text. And then at the bottom, there is a save button. Again, it will go live immediately. The slides do play in order of this list. Now, obviously, these top ones aren't playing because they are hidden currently, but the rest will play in order from there. So if you want, you can drag them around and put them in a different order, and it will play in that way. That concludes our training for WordPress. If you have questions, feel free to call Firehouse Design. We'll do our best to help you. And thanks for listening.